I'm an NBA player. I can never go broke again. But once you're in the NBA, I can throw $1 million or something. It doesn't matter if it works or not. So for me, it doesn't make a difference. And that's why it's so much easier. They always say the first million is the hardest, and they're completely right. I had an intrinsic understanding, and I think everybody does. If you're at a gas station and it's 3 a.m. and a Lambo pulls up and a guy gets out of it, you're thinking criminal, drug dealer, gangster. Yeah. You're not thinking, he has a uni degree. Because you're not going to think that. So when you see money, people don't even associate the money they see with university. But then they go, I want to make money, so I go to university. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. So I think everybody knows that the system and the path they lay out for you is not a path that's going to lead to where you want to be. The problem is difficult because the way that humans work and the way that we've evolved as a species is that we don't really learn lessons unless they're learned the hard way. I believe that unless a lesson has taught the hard way, you're not going to learn it. You can have so many near misses and people won't learn their lesson. Bro, you must know a guy who goes out there, nearly crashes his car, doesn't slow until he wrecks it. Like, this is how people are, right? So you need that pain for the lesson to sting enough to really genuinely go inside of your mind. And it's the same with everything. It's the same with driving a car or business. Truthfully, if you want to learn a lesson about business, you're going to have to suffer at some point, right? So we always say that most people are not successful with their first companies, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. I get that. The truth is, there's a lot of people who make a lot of money with their first company, but they just spunk it, act an idiot, and it all blows up in their face. And that's how you get the discipline on your fourth company, that when you have $3 million in the bank, you just leave it there, and don't be done with it. So you need to go through some pain. You need to experience some negative things. You need to have to a degree some trauma to really even learn any lessons. So yeah, business studies, you're right. The book, that's not going to teach you anything about business. You need to get out there on the streets. You need to make some mistakes. You need to suffer. You need to have the tax man knocking at your door. You got to deal with all that stuff so that you make sure it doesn't happen again. I really think that humans are stupid enough to only learn the hard way. That's kind of how it works. The brokey days are great. I'm not complaining about being rich. Obviously, I worked hard for this, and it's a fantastic life I live now. But I think without those brokey days, without those original days to compare it to, without that juxtaposition, that I don't think being rich would be fun at all. I think it's only fun because you can compare it to the days when you weren't rich. That's the only thing that makes it fun. The only thing that makes a $10,000 steak fun is that you can laugh saying how you never had 10 grand in your bank until you were 27 years old. Otherwise, it's boring. Otherwise, you go, okay, steak. And I think if you're born with too much money, that you'll never truly be happy. I think you need the brokey days. They're the best days. If I had to get a job again, it'd be a sales job because you learn a lot as a salesman. You learn, and sales is a really important skill. You learn a skill, and also if you're actually good at it, it's not even really like having a job. They don't fire the top salesman.
Yeah, no, they don't.
They do not fire the top salesman. No, I know. You turn up late. You crash your car. Well, sorry, G. Boom. Here's my numbers. They're like, all right. So if you're a salesman, it's the only time you get any kind of freedom, and also all the responsibility and all the pressures on your back where it belongs as a man. You need to adopt stress and adopt problems if you want to be successful as a man, and as a salesman you get that. So I had a bunch of sales jobs. I did a bunch of sales things. I was fighting, became world champion, started making money with fighting, but even fighting, kickboxing is not boxing, bro. Most I ever got paid for a fight was like 200 grand. I tried a million things, and that's what you have to do. You have to try a bunch of things and learn a bunch of lessons until you finally find something that works. So I think one of the reasons why I was so motivated to make money is because even when I was completely broke, through fighting, I had access to a lifestyle. I saw money, right? Man, I can tell you stories now that even sound stupid to me. I went to Deauville, France to fight for a world title, and I was sitting there, and the promoter hadn't turned up yet, and I ordered 2 waters, 2 Perrier, and they came and they were like €9 each, and I paid for them, and I said to Tristan, 20 quid for water. Because we're brokies. And he's like, yeah, that's crazy. And we look around and there's all these tables just with water, champagne, food, like $1,000 lunches, £1,000 lunches. And we're sitting there going, where are we going wrong with life? Like, we're worried about the price of water. That dude's got a lobster. He's got like a big bottle of champagne. He's got 3 chicks. Like, we're going wrong. So I always knew there were these people who were living in a way that money didn't have any significance. Money wasn't real to them. So I always knew it. I was always around it, especially through fighting. I went to a bunch of crazy countries, Kazakhstan, all these places. We're in Kazakhstan, a poor country. It's just G-Wagon, 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 G-Wagon. I'm like, what's going on? Like, once you get to a certain level of incomes and wealth, everything becomes free.